What's up, my dudes? So in this update, I wanted to go over two new add-ons that we're adding to the UI. And I'll go over why we added them. I think they have a lot of good uses for you, and it'll be helpful overall. So the first one is ItemTooltipProfessionIcons. So this is the first one. It's really simple. As you can see when I pan over this thick leather here, we can see that there's these icons for professions and a quest icon right there in the tooltip itself under the the TipTac tooltip that we have on this add-on pack. So what that indicates is basically what the item that you're hovering over can be used for, whether it be a profession or a quest. It will show you. So for example, thick leather here can be used for blacksmithing, engineering, leatherworking, tailoring, and it even has a quest associated to it. So using this, you can sort of determine when you pick up different items as you level up and things of that nature, which items have greater value over others. Because, if you find an item that doesn't have any professions or quests tied to it, then you might consider selling it, unless, of course, it's like a piece, like a piece of gear or something. But I just mean these other things like with cloth or, as you can see, it's used for several professions here, or just quest items that you find, whatever it might be. I think this will help you guys out. So I figured that would be a good addition. And so you can see with on the Bagnon add-on that we have here, it'll show the quest icon under this. So in the same add-on, it'll show the quest icon for quest items. And in Bagnon, it often will highlight an item yellow, or just about, if it's a quest item. And so it's doing that for the most part for a lot of these. But sometimes you might stumble across quest items that aren't highlighted yellow. So you might be a little confused, and you sometimes would have to, go back and forth between your quest log and stuff. But if you hover over an item that isn't highlighted and it has this icon over it, then you'd know for sure, and you might be reminded. It's like, oh yeah, this is the item I needed to get, because it would sort of reassure you that it is with that icon. Okay, so beyond that, because that's pretty much all that is with Item Tooltip Profession Icons, which is a mouthful, by the way, to say. The next one we have is ItemRack, which is, I think, super important here for a lot of us. I know a lot of folks were looking for something like this, where it's basically just like the equipment manager that I think that came in at Wrath, where Blizzard sort of implemented it into the UI, for the Blizzard UI. And so, yeah, this is really important here. What I just did was I typed in /itemrack space OPT, so opt. And if you type in /itemrack, you can see all the different sort of commands for this. So what I'm going to do is I'll hit J, because that's what I have bound to my character pane window. Otherwise, just go over here and click it and open up and see what kind of gear you got. If you want to make a set for this, and like bind a key to basically the set that you have, so that when you're out of combat you can switch your gear, or if you're in combat you can like switch weapons, for example, and you can make sort of sets for that as well, and bind keys to that. Then we're all set. All you have to do is go to this sets tab here, again in that opt window that we just opened up, and then you'll have these icons to choose from for your set. And up here, you'll have a little sort of bar to type in the name of your set. I'll just say RET for me. And the reason why save, bind key, delete, all these things are not highlighted, they don't let you press anything. Let me just hit enter here, so that's put in there, is because you have yet to sort of highlight which items you want specifically. And so this is another thing. So first, you could do this one by one if you wanted to, or you could press this button here. It says toggle all. So I could highlight all of these. I like to just maybe get rid of the tabard and the shirt, because those will be sort of universal throughout my sets. so I don't really mess with those. But yeah, so I have ret here, and I'll just save that. And what I can do is bind a key. So I'll bind a key. I'll just do, for my ret set, I'll do F1. So this will be my first set. F1 will be that. And then what I could do is I can go over here, and one by one I can select pieces that I would want for my healing set, because I do have a healing set. So I'm just going to do that right now and show you guys what that looks like. Oh, I may have messed up the ret set a little bit, actually. I'll go back and fix that, because I'm sure, you know, we're all going to have to deal with that at some point. You might mess up a set and you'd be like, well, what do I do? It's pretty self-explanatory, though, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm sure you guys be able to figure out. Otherwise, this video should help you out. This should cover it for you. Okay, so now that I have that all ready to go, I'll just change the icon and the name, press enter there, and hit save. And yeah, and then I'll just select F2 for my other binding there. And so it doesn't change my set yet because I haven't selected the keybind, but when I do, if I hit F2, boom, it'll switch me over. And so now I have F1 is my ret set yet again, but I chose the wrong weapon. So what I can do is select that, my two-hander there. Of course, get rid of that because it's a two-hander, so that's more important. Actually, it's more important to highlight this, especially if your other sets have like offhands. So that indicates that you have to sort of unequip. And anyways, it probably wouldn't cause any problems, but I wouldn't want it to bug for you guys. So just in case, highlight that. Make sure the thing recognizes, the add-on recognizes that you don't have anything in that slot. And let me just double check here. Okay, looks good. So what I'll do, oops, okay, yeah, save, and that's good. So if I go to my healing set and go back to ret, boom. Okay, so that's set, that's ready to go. So yeah, you guys can do the same thing for whichever sets you want. You could do this for like pieces where if you wanted to make a set that just sort of looks cool, for example, if you're like fishing and you wanted to have some sort of like fishing looking set or whatever, fisherman looking thing, you could do that. You know, that's all up to you. All this is up to you. There's, you know, sky's the limit on this. So events, right? This is really cool because it allows for you to enable basically equipping certain sets or certain pieces when you sort of have something happen, basically, is the most broad way I can put it. To say that, like, you know, if you were mounting, for example, it would switch over to a set where you might have like mithril spurs or carrot on a stick, something like that, to where your mount speed would increase and you wouldn't have to sort of sift through all those pieces in your bags yourself. You could just sort of enable this, and so that's cool. So you just check that, and you can select the specific set that you want. So yeah, you have to choose a set. So that's to say that before you can even enable an event, you have to create a set for that event. All right, guys, well, I did a lot of testing, and I'm not able to find a way to sort of make the events work at the moment. This could be an issue with the add-on itself, or it just could be an issue with me. I don't know. But we'll just be moving on, and hopefully the events will be working for you guys by the time you watch this. Anyways, it should work as it explains by the tooltip, as you see on the bottom of the screen there when it pops up. All right, guys, for the next part of the add-on is the queue section. I don't personally use this, but if you wanted to, I think the way it works is that priority items are on the top, and it sort of goes down in priority as you get closer to the bottom. And I have this sort of idea because it's a stop queue here, and I imagine that the end of the queue is maybe at the least priority. That's sort of the idea that I'm getting. And what I sort of gather from this is that your items will be in queue when, for example, you are in combat and you want to switch to a different set, but of course you can't switch anything other than weapons in combat, so your set won't change until after. Your set will be in queue at that point. And so what you can do is create like a set like queue delay or a slot delay. So you can select a certain item, and basically after combat, when the set is ready to be sort of put on, you can provide a delay for it. You can add priority to certain slots because I don't know, maybe it doesn't happen all at once. It looks like it does, but it doesn't necessarily. So you might be in the situation where you go in and out of combat in like a split second. So you never really know if like all your pieces will be equipped. So what you can do is basically go over to this queue here, from my understanding yet again, and then just basically put priority on certain pieces and sort of add delays to others if you really want to. But that's all up to you. Now, if you want to change the settings to this more comprehensively than just typing in /ItemRack, you really want to go to this config window. So I got rid of the minimap button because I'm not like a big fan of just all these buttons on my minimap, so I just got rid of it. And it's easy to type in /ItemRack space opt. You could also make like a macro for that if you wanted to as well. But if you want to have this, then yeah, by all means, take it, man. Just, you know, add it in. There's a lot of options. It's pretty customizable, and I'm pretty happy with it. I've been working with it, and I know there's like a couple of bugs with it on occasion. I've gotten some people saying like that in combat sometimes their weapons don't even switch when they try to do that. Let's test this out actually right now. I'm gonna go out and fight something. Give me one sec. All right, so I'm approaching this hyena here, and we're gonna do this. I'm gonna attack it. I'm gonna switch. Okay, so yeah, I just pressed the key binding for my other set, for my healing set, and yeah, no luck so far. And you'll see though, after combat, boom, switches everything, including the weapons. But of course, when you try to switch the weapons with the entire set as well, it doesn't work. Let's try though, I'm gonna make a set that's just basically changing the weapons, not changing the gear. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll create a new sort of weapon changer set, if you will. So we'll do this, we'll just highlight the weapon itself. The weapon with the empty offhand, of course. It is a two-hander after all. So we'll do that. We'll just call it weapon, I guess. I'm going to bind it to F3. I'll just do that for now. I'm going to attack here. Go to F3. Okay, that's a no-go. Yeah, so this is something I think maybe the developers have to just work on. Because I think at the very moment it's pretty early stages, just like a lot of the add-ons that we're working with. I wouldn't worry too much about it. That's something you could always just make a sort of macro for, where you could /equip space and then just add whatever item you want. Anyways, that'll be it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoy the updates to this UI. All right, peace.